The Galactic Council chamber was silent, save for the faint hum of the holographic display, projecting a star map of the Orion Arm. Representatives from a dozen species sat around the circular table, their faces grim. The Zorathians, a warlike race of insectoid beings, had just declared war on the Council. Their fleet was massive, their technology advanced, and their resolve unshakable. The Council had no choice but to prepare for the worst. Ambassador Krell of the Velnari, a tall reptilian diplomat, broke the silence. "We must surrender. The Zorathians have already taken 3 of our outer colonies. If we resist, they will annihilate us." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room. The Velnari were known for their pragmatism, and Krell's words carried weight. But then, a voice cut through the tension like a knife. "No." All eyes turned to the human representative, Captain Elena Marquez. She was a petite woman, her dark hair tied back in a no-nonsense bun, her uniform crisp and unadorned. Her expression was calm, but there was a fire in her eyes that made even the most seasoned diplomats uneasy. "We are not surrendering," she said, her voice steady. "The Zorathians think they can bully us into submission." "They're wrong," Krell hissed, his scales flickering with irritation. "And what do you propose, Captain? Your species has only been part of the Galactic Council for 50 years. You barely have a fleet. What can you possibly do against the Zorathians?" Elena leaned forward, her gaze locking onto Krell's. "When humans say we've got this, we mean it. We don't back down. We don't surrender. And we don't lose." The room erupted into protests. The Velnari, the Quarans, the Thalaxians, all of them argued that resistance was futile. But Elena remained unmoved. She activated her comlink and spoke a single word: "Go." 3 light-years away, the Zorathian fleet advanced toward the Council's core worlds. Their ships were sleek and menacing, their weapons primed. Admiral Zin, the Zorathian commander, stood on the bridge of his flagship, his mandibles clicking in satisfaction. The Council would fall, and the Zorathians would reign supreme. But then, something unexpected happened. A small human vessel, barely the size of a frigate, appeared on the edge of the Zorathian fleet's sensors. It was unarmed, its hull painted with strange symbols. Zin frowned. What was this? A scout? A decoy? Before he could give the order to destroy it, the human ship transmitted a message. It was a single phrase, repeated in every known language: "We've got this." Zin laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Humans," he sneered. "Arrogant to the end." But then, the sensors began to blare. More ships were appearing, hundreds of them. They were human vessels, but they were unlike anything the Zorathians had ever seen. Their designs were crude, almost primitive, but they moved with a speed and precision that defied logic. Zin's laughter died in his throat. "What is this? Where did they come from?" The human fleet didn't wait for an answer. They attacked. Back in the council chamber, the representatives watched the battle unfold on the holographic display. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and outmatched. But they fought with a ferocity that left the council speechless. Their ships weaved through the Zorathian fleet like dancers, dodging plasma fire and launching counterattacks with pinpoint accuracy. They used tactics that seemed reckless, even suicidal, but somehow they worked. One by one, the Zorathian ships began to fall. Krell stared at the display, his scales pale with shock. How are they doing this? Elena smiled faintly. Humans have a saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. We may not have the biggest fleet or the most advanced technology, but we've got something the Zorathians don't. And what's that? Krell asked. Determination, Elena replied. When our backs are against the wall, we don't give up. We fight harder. We get creative. And we win. The battle lasted for hours. By the end of it, the Zorathian fleet was in ruins. Admiral Zin's flagship was adrift, its engines destroyed, its weapons silenced. The human fleet, though battered and bruised, had emerged victorious. On the bridge of his crippled ship, Zin received a transmission. It was Captain Marquez. "Admiral," she said, her voice calm but firm. "This is your only warning. Surrender now, or we will finish what we started." Zin hesitated. He had never known defeat, never even considered the possibility. But as he looked at the wreckage of his fleet, he realized he had no choice. "We surrender," he said, his voice hollow. In the council chamber, the representatives erupted into cheers. The Zarathians had been defeated, and the council was safe. Krell turned to Elena, his expression one of awe. "You were right," he said. "When humans say we've got this, they mean it." Elena nodded. "We always do." And as the council celebrated, the humans quietly returned to their ships, ready for whatever challenge the galaxy might throw at them next. Because when it came to protecting their allies and defending their home, they knew one thing for certain: they'd always have it.